is this from...
Yeah, it is.
Okay, great. I'm actually investigating how long it takes for the surrogacy process. Can you comment?
Okay, typically we tell intended parents that this process can take anywhere from 12 to 24 months.
So you're saying it only takes 12 to 24 months.
You're curious about surrogacy, thinking it might be the path for you and your family? You are in the right place. I've been through it all. How long does it really take? And why the heck should you listen to me? I've been in your shoes, and I've connected with surrogacy experts and other families who have gone through this exact process. And now I am sharing the parts of the surrogacy process that agencies don't want to talk about. We're going to go through all of the steps, adding them all up. By the end of the video, we'll have the answer. Let's go. When we started our surrogacy journey, we thought we had a good handle on the timeline. Still yes. Finding our egg donor was our first real wake-up call. Picture this, okay? Two bright-eyed, wannabe dads ready to have a baby within the promised 12 to 24 months. Well, that was mistake number one. We started with a local agency that seemed promising. They were saying all of the right things to us. As the months passed, we weren't getting many egg donor profiles, and the few that we were getting just didn't even match what we were looking for. It took us way too long to realize that this agency just wasn't gonna cut it for us. If you are running into something similar, shoot me a DM and I'll share their name. That mistake cost us a year. So let's add 1 year to that tally. Now, here's a tip. Don't just accept promises at face value. Now, I know that seems obvious. Dig deeper. Find out the real success stories, and heck, if we were to do it again, I would sit down with someone who has used the agency, buy them a coffee in exchange for their honest feedback. And it would have saved us so much time. It would have saved us a whole year. After that, we switched to an online platform. Here's what we did differently. We researched to make sure that we found a platform with a high success rate and a lot of positive reviews. The next thing we did was profile filters. We used detail filters to match our donors based on health history, physical traits, and our personal values. And finally, we could directly contact potential donors, which sped up the process significantly. This was a game changer for us. We found our egg donor in 4 months after signing up, and from there, everything just clicked. Okay, I have to jump in here. I'm just editing the video, and I remember that day so vividly. I played a little trick on my husband. I had found the egg donor that I thought would be a great match for us, but I didn't want to give off any emotion, and I wanted him to decide independently. So I showed him the profile. He also agreed that this would be a great egg donor to go with. So I was ecstatic. This was the person I wanted. We both agreed. And after waiting so long for this journey, we finally felt like we made some progress. With our egg donor locked in, we were ready to tackle the next big challenge, creating embryos. Is it just me, or does everything seem longer when you're stuck waiting? Because that was us during the embryo creation phase. Let's call this like it is, the cheerleader phase. Without much to do on our end, we resorted to being the hunky cheerleaders, sending positive vibes. Our donor was doing all of the hard work, the doctor visits, the daily injections, and even guzzling down bottles of Gatorade. Apparently, the potassium helps your little eggies grow. This phase did stir up some emotions of guilt. Our egg donor was doing so much, and we felt like we should be doing so much more. But this feeling is normal. I talked to other parents and they felt the same way. Fast forward, all that cheerleading, it paid off, and the eggs were successfully harvested. Ugh, harvested, that's such a gross word. We created a handful of healthy embryos ready for freezing. This took us 6 months, and we finally felt like we made some real progress. Now that our mini babies were frozen, we were ready for the next step on our timeline, matching with our surrogate. Close your eyes. No, seriously, close them right now. And imagine you're speed dating. But instead of agreeing to go out for lunch, you're locking in with that person for 9 months. Welcome to finding a surrogate. Given the high demand for surrogates, each new date was high stakes. We were on a mission for our match, someone who could be part of our lives forever. Here's where it gets tricky. If we were too picky, we might never match, and this timeline would never reach its goal. So we set strict criteria for the initial screening of profiles: health history, time since last pregnancy, age, BMI. After we got through that initial screening, our discussions with potential surrogates got way more personal, deeper into the things that mattered the most to us, like what our future relationship would look like.
Zooming out again, fam, I just love sharing these little insights with you about our journey. And I vividly remember this one phone call we had with our surrogate, who ended up being Maya's surrogate. She cracked a joke. It was something along the lines of, real parents are the ones with sleepless nights, or something. I'm totally butchering it. It was that added touch of humor that really cut through the noise and the seriousness of the process. You know what? It made us laugh. And it's those little things that can really form connection. So her warmth and her humor, we knew we found our match and our connection.
This step took us another 6 months, so let's throw that on the tally. To help speed up finding the right surrogate, make sure you have clear criteria. Define your must-haves and your nice-haves. This will help in narrowing down your profiles way quicker. Open communication. Be upfront about your expectations and make sure you listen to your surrogate's expectations as well. And emotional connection. Look for someone that you can connect with on a personal level. It's not just a business transaction, it is a relationship. Before we dive into the next timeline, I'm going to share the exact spreadsheet we used to find our surrogate with you. Whether you've already started your surrogacy journey or you're even just like testing out the waters and considering it, it did really help us, and I think it could do the same for you. And it's totally free. Just click the link below the video and go grab it for yourself. The embryo transfer can feel like a leap into the unknown. Oh no, cringe. But sometimes, just sometimes, it turns out a little smoother and more in key than you'd expect. This step is a significant milestone for everyone doing a surrogacy or IVF journey, but it's so nerve-wracking because everything, like literally everything you've worked towards hinges on this very moment. Will the embryo implant successfully? And listen, I'm not gonna drag on this section because I know how triggering this part of the process can be. Believe me, I've gone through loss, but this time, you know what? We were lucky and our experience was surprisingly smooth. It was successful, so we only have to add 3 months to the tally. Here's what helped us during the critical phase. It's really important to stay hopeful, but it's equally crucial to be prepared for any outcome. And listen, follow all the medical advice. The guidelines you're given by your fertility specialist are important, and every detail does matter. Finally, emotional support. Lean on your partner. You guys, like seriously, lean on your friends or your support groups. Sharing your anxieties can lighten the emotional load. If you are on this step, just remember that every journey is different, and I do truly understand how stressful this part of the process can be. If you need me, I'm here to talk. I answer all my DMs. At this point, we were pregnant. We felt so lucky that things went smoothly, but the next step was way different than we could have ever expected. When you think of pregnancy, what do you imagine? I'm guessing it's probably baby bumps and midnight cravings and preparing a nursery. For us, pregnancy was way different. It was distant and it was digital, and frankly, it was not what you'd expect when you're expecting. As the pregnancy progressed with our surrogate, our daily lives didn't change much. Our connection to the pregnancy was digital, and it felt so bizarre knowing that such a significant part of our lives was unfolding so far away. Each call with our surrogate was a blend of excitement but also strangeness. It was like peeking into a world that was ours but not ours. We really did try our best to stay connected, but if I'm being honest, it didn't come naturally. Over the next 9 months, we continued to mentally prepare for this life-changing event, but nothing in our environment was changing. It was so weird. Here are some tips that helped us try to stay connected with our surrogate during the pregnancy. Regular communication. Schedule consistent updates and video calls with your surrogate. Seeing and hearing from her regularly can help bridge that gap, especially if there is a distance gap. Attend appointments virtually. If at all possible, join in on those important medical appointments via a video call. It helps you stay involved in the pregnancy and you get to see those important milestones. And create a shared journal. Document the journey together. Share your thoughts and your feelings and the milestones to create a sense of shared experience. This does not have to be anything fancy. It can be as simple as a group chat on WhatsApp. As we approached the due date, the reality was really setting in. Soon we would transition from wannabe dads to, oh shit, we're dads. After all that waiting, it finally happened. Maya was born. Let's get some super cute pictures up here on this screen ASAP and add 10 days to that tally. If you are part of an international surrogacy journey, you will need to wait up to 2 months. This is required by law to complete the post-birth legalities and the medical checks before you can bring your little one home to your country. Holding Maya for the first time was the reward. That disconnect from the pregnancy phase, it was instantly gone, and we felt like a family. All of the waiting and the stress and the ups and the downs led to this incredible moment when we officially became dads. If you enjoyed this, sign up for my newsletter linked below. I'm sending a special gift to the first 100 people to join. It's my way of saying thanks for being part of this journey with me. To answer the question, it took 40 months and 10 days, which is just over 3 years and 4 months. That's 1,226 days of planning, waiting, and hoping, all leading up to the biggest high five moment of our lives, becoming dads to our incredible daughter Maya. So when you hear that the surrogacy process will only take 12 to 24 months, think again.